welcome back to Dunkirk Dunes. So I thought I'd do a quick recap video of Germany turns 16. So here's what the Germans bought. They bought 6 infantry and 5 tanks and 5 fighters. And there is maybe a little question that purchase cost 98. Which is, I think, what they had, although there might be a little discrepancy there. They may have only had 97. If that's the case, what they would end up doing is just buying 1 less infantry. So, as far as attacks go, there's not much going on here other than posturing. So, at this stage. So these 2 German units, the tank and the mech, have blitzed across into Yenisei and taken that for the Germans. Everything else, I think, is non-combat that's going on here. So you'll notice there is this little Soviet force hanging out in Tunguska. So what they've done is send 4 tanks from Moscow into Novosibirsk, 4 tanks from Moscow up into Urals. And then there's also 4 of these tanks here. Initially have gone up into Archangel, although it sounds like it's a friendly game, and so they let each other kind of adjust things, but they, I think, originally had gone up to Archangel. There was some talk about maybe sending them down to Ukraine instead, but I'll update that if that does occur. The stack of infantry and artillery here, because technically that's a combat move, have marched into Smolensk and taken that. And then, let's see, down here in the Middle East. So these stack of tanks here, 9 tanks and a mechanized infantry in northwest Persia, they have moved forward into Transjordan. That mech as well. That was the blue arrows. And then the little stack of 4 infantry here in northwest Persia has stepped into Iraq. And then this stack of infantry and artillery from Caucasus has moved down into northwest Persia. And then all of these German planes here in the Middle East, so the fighters and the tacticals that were in northwest Persia and Iraq, have all gone up to Greece. The 2 AAA anti-aircraft guns that are there in Rostov have loaded onto the transports and unloaded into Romania. And one of the infantry in Romania has stepped up into Slovakia, Hungary as a blocker. And then these 3 fighters that are there in Rostov have gone 1 into the Black Sea, 2 into Romania, 3 into Slovakia, and then 4 into Berlin for this final defense of Berlin. And then in addition, for final positioning for defense of Berlin, the tank and the 2 fighters that were in Paris, those have moved into Berlin. as well. And then also this stack of, I believe that's 10 infantry and 4 artillery. They have also moved into Berlin. And then, let's see, the fleet that is currently here in C-Zone 110 has slid back into C-Zone 112. And then there is this destroyer that's here in C-Zone 87. He's just sailed up here into C-Zone 92. And I had talked about before about there being in the Anzac video, about there being an Anzac transport in 89. Apparently that was incorrect. The Anzac transport is sitting here in 51. And so we'll see if the Japanese, who are there off Hawaii, decide to go after that. So I think that's basically all of the positioning. I think we've captured all of that. Then the placement is just the 6 infantry, or 5 if they only had 97 to spend, go into Western Germany. And then the 5 tanks and the 5 new fighters go into Berlin itself. And so that the stage is set then for the Soviet assault on Berlin, if that's what's going to happen. So I think that is it. I think Germany collected 81 IPCs for next turn if they can hold on to their capital. So thanks for watching, and we'll have an update on what the Soviets decide to do coming up next. Here's a little addendum update here. So what he did was move 4 tanks into Ukraine. He's made this little update. And there are still 4 up in Archangel, but instead of 4 each in Urals and Novosibirsk, there's just 2 in Novosibirsk and 2 in Urals. So that is the little update. Thanks for watching. Soviets are next.